Well, I've told you a little bit about my practical kind of hands-on experience working with children with disabilities. I don't think I've really touched on my academic experience in that domain. So first and foremost, part of my program at university is obviously philosophy, and a big focus of that is equity. And so in my second year of university, I took part like I and I reached out to a professor, and as part of my scholars electives program, which is an interdisciplinary research module, and she was researching genetic engineering, specifically reproductive CRISPR, so like sperm and egg cell genetic engineering. And one of the things that scientists are thinking about doing with that is to potentially try and remove genetic predispositions for certain disabilities, or even certain things that people don't necessarily always consider disabilities, such as deafness, which can be a very, very controversial topic, obviously. And so researching the ethics of that with her, and I joined a synthetic biology reading group with graduate students and professors, which was very, very interesting. And I wrote a final paper on the ethics of what that would look like, and how the ideas of reproductive ethics and disability ethics intersect. So I very much have a background in disability ethics. I also kind of translated that knowledge into I competed with the accessibility case competition at Western University with a friend of mine, and we got third place, which was great. And this past year, I also worked with the Student Accessibility Committee at Western, and my role there was actually in working with the school to make recommendations for the University Students' Council on ways that our school can become more accessible, and I specifically advocated a lot for making the school more mental health accessible, because that is something that I find is often excluded from the accessibility kind of framework. They're often like, oh, well, we'll install a ramp and this and that, but it's sometimes harder for people that might have, or not, I shouldn't say harder, we don't compare that kind of thing, but sometimes it can be challenging for people with invisible disabilities to access those same supports, and because sometimes it can be a little bit harder for a school to see that need, because it might not necessarily be right in front of their face. And so that was something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I did that for the last year and greatly enjoyed it. And I am hoping to continue to advocate for myself and my peers, and everybody that might have any kind of disability or special need, or anything that they are currently living with.